Brian, Jimmy, this is something that we've gotten rave reviews about across the board. Going back to last year is our second annual Stripes Awards, kind of abbreviated version of it this year. But first, without further ado, male wrestler of the year, Brian. A lot of great guys out there. It's hard to narrow it down to one guy, but who do you think is male wrestler of the year?
All right, I'm glad you let me go first, just because me and Jimmy think alike, and I know I know he's going to take my answer, and if he doesn't, that's cool. But it just seems like the mojo is every time he goes first, he gets everything. I think so. With that being said, there's a couple ways to look at this. Okay, do I think he's wrestler of the year? I do, but I think he's made the Impact Wrestler of the Year. And I think he's done marvelously in the angle that he is in. And I don't know how anybody could argue this, to be honest with you, but we'll see, because that's why we have three answers for this. Hopefully, three different answers, that is. Mine is the Bloodlines, Jacob Fatu. That is my wrestler of the year.
Interesting.
Scratch.
Very interesting.
Jacob and
okay.
Did you have that? Did you have it?
He was like on one of the possibilities in case we
I knew it. Thank you, RJ. I told you. That is mine. Jacob Fatu, I believe, to me, should be male wrestler of the year.
Awesome. Jimmy, what do you need some more time to scratch off a couple more names, or
no? Mine is tough because I'm kind of torn, and I know people are going to say, pick maybe a Cody or Roman or someone along those lines, and they, you have a case with those guys, but for me, I'm at a toss up between two guys that probably people wouldn't think of.
I like those.
And I'm thinking he's been off for a while, a little bit after his run with CM Punk, but now he's back, and boy, is he causing a shitstorm. And that's Drew McIntyre. Yeah. Drew McIntyre is really doing it for me. He's hitting all the right buttons. And just when you think how does he improve on all that stuff he's been doing? Guess what? He shows up on Busted Open to accept the Busty Award, and he tells everybody, I don't give a fuck anymore. And he throws the microphone down. As soon as he did that, I said, oh, I can't wait for what's next. He just knows how to push buttons. He knows how to do it right. He's a heel through and through. He's not a cool heel.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a SOB, and I love it.
So I'm going to feed you, RJ. I'm going to feed you. Who you got, son? And by the way, Jimmy, if it makes you feel any better, I had McIntyre down too. In case you said Jacob.
That's why I went to you first, Brian, because I knew you guys think so much alike. I'm like, oh, I got to send it to Brian first because he's going to get.
It's incredible, actually. But anyway, so RJ, your go.
So I had a couple guys. Something like that. So I had a couple names, and believe it or not, it wasn't either one of your guys that you mentioned.
Good. Give us yours.
It was, however, I will mention one of them, but it's not my final answer. I will say that he is a member of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa. Has had one hell of a year. He's upped his game from last year. When you see any of these main events across WrestleMania, any of these major pay-per-views, his name is on the top of the marquee. Mm-hmm. It'll just be interesting to see what he does going forward. Granted, he sometimes wasn't victorious, but he's in those spots. However, one guy that you guys failed to mention that upped his game tenfold, Gunther, is my wrestler of the year. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, the current World Heavyweight Champion, a guy that could have a match with anybody. He's had
Mhm.
matches with Zack Sabre Jr. before. He can have matches with Damian Priest. He can have matches with anybody and make it and make it a, according to Uncle Dave, a 5-star, 7-star match in the Tokyo Dome type of match. Uh, but it's one of those things too. What are we going to see from him too? So as of this moment, my pick is Gunther.
Guys, think about that real quick.
Mhm.
We just named Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Gunther, and you can't argue with any of them three, in my opinion.
Oh.
And you know what? You know who was number 3 on my list? Kevin Owens.
It's so Jimmy. We got to stop. We have to. I have those 3 guys written down. Those 3 guys. If you don't believe me, I'll show you.
No, I believe you. Trust me, I believe you.
Oh God, let's go to the next category before
Uh,
you.
Yes.
So for this one, I will go to Jimmy first.
No, because
So-
he's gonna do it
no.
again.
Mhm.
No, go
Well, maybe
ahead.
not.
Go for
No,
it.
all right. Jimmy, who is
Oh.
your female wrestler of the year?
All right, Jimmy.
Okay.
Before you say anything,
Mhm.
anything, look down. Don't look at the. Don't look. I'm gonna show this to. I'm gonna show this to RJ here. I'm just gonna give you the last name.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to show you how this works. But anyway, hopefully I'm wrong because I want my answer to be there. Damn it. All right.
Okay.
Go, Jimmy.
I legit didn't look.
I know you
I
didn't. I
legit
saw your
didn't
face.
look. And this is going to shock a lot of people. Corderis going, has he switching sides?
Oh, I
Oh,
already know you
really?
want my answer. Cool.
Oh, Tony Storm.
That is a great answer. And
That's a good answer.
She has done more for that women's division than people will realize. She is a great talent in ring, but her character is fantastic. That whole timeless Tony Storm, and then returning, I was like skeptical. I said like, oh, what a mistake, because that character was so over. But this current iteration of her, I don't know whether she's having amnesia, thinking she just joined AEW or whatever the heck she's
Right.
is great.
It is.
I love it. And you know what? More power to her in 2025.
All right, Jimmy. Good. You didn't take my answer, but that was my second option. And it's written right here. I promise you it's written right here. I can't show you everything because I've got my referee ones up there too. But
Okay.
anyway, mine is the one who I think has worked her ass off for so many, many, many years and has finally gotten her come-ups and gotten her flowers. And she's actually, not because she is a person I worked with closely and had a lot of fun with and just a great person, but your new United States Women's Champion, Chelsea Green.
Mhm.
That is my female wrestler of the year. And I can't believe, Jimmy, I swear you would have picked that one, but that's cool. I'm glad you didn't. But that's 2 great ones, though. Golly,
I
RJ,
think so.
Yeah.
RJ, come on, throw some
So
fire in there.
I am. This shouldn't shock anybody, but it may shock somebody. I'm sure over there on the internets, because I'm sure. Well, you didn't choose this one because they weren't right in the right promotion. All right, Slapnuts, just calm down. But I'm going to.
Wow.
TNA
Archie getting fired
wrestling.
man.
Yeah.
I'm going to. Yeah, right. It only took me 143 episodes. I'm going to TNA wrestling.
I know where you're going.
I'm going with Jordan Grace,
Good pick.
somebody that we saw finally get her flowers. We saw her in the Royal Rumble. We've seen her on NXT. Will we see her at WrestleMania? We have they haven't really said if this is going to be a continuing partnership going forward through WrestleMania, through Royal Rumble. We may see her again this year at the Royal Rumble, or 2025. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But she is somebody that when you say TNA Knockouts division, I think Jordan Grace. She's worked her ass off from where she started. And Brian, you can and comment where you if you can. Obviously, probably somebody that you worked with, but worked her ass off to get her in probably the best shape she's ever been in her career. And she's had matches. She just had probably one of the best women's matches I've ever seen against Masha Slamovich at the pay-per-view a few months back. And she's just a voice in that locker room. I'm sure. I don't know for a fact. I'm sure somebody will message me and say, "Hey, she's that locker room leader for that women's division." But Jordan Grace is my pick for female wrestler of the year.
So I want to say real quick, I think that all three of the nominations are awesome. But I will also say this: Jordan Grace, I saw her when I first got to TNA, and did not look anything remotely close to the way she looks now. The transformation, which equals to me the hardest work that anyone can ever put in. If you don't know anything about body transformation, meaning going to the gym, eating right, working hard every day, and really meaning to make a change. I can't find anyone else that, and I'm not saying she's the only one, but anyone else that I know comparable to the transformation that happened between the time I saw her from the first time to now is unbelievable, except maybe some DDP yoga people that they put out there that I've seen. But this is to another level. I mean, these were, this is, if you don't know what I know, go back and look at what Jordan Grace looked like when she first entered TNA as a full-time competitor, and look at her now. It's unfreaking believable. It's not even believable. You won't even recognize the same person. It just shows the hard work and the amount of energy and passion that she has and will put into what she absolutely 100% loves. So, RJ, you might have had the best pick, honestly, but I don't know how Chelsea Green's not up there too, or Tony Storm. So I just think that we've done really good in our first two topics.
I think so.
Oh yeah. Well, to round off our Stripes Awards this year, this is a referee show. Why wouldn't we do Ref of the Year? Jimmy, man, so many great options out there. Who is your Ref of the Year?
For me, and this again, it's more than just how well he refereed, but it's also how he handled adversity this year. And I'm going to go with Dan Engler, aka Rudy Charles. I think he handled himself very well when things kind of went sideways a couple of times. But for the most part, he's solid. He's solid with everything he does. His false finishes are good. His the way he interacts with the talent is good. The way he does his job, the way he communicates messages back and forth, which most people can't pick up, but we can, because we know what they're doing and when they're doing it. So I'm going to give and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of guys that you can put on this list. And obviously you got to give my good buddy Charles Robinson a tip of the hat, man. Still doing it and still doing the ring. God bless him, man.
It's keeping him young.
Yeah, exactly. He still looks the same. Again, he's on the Billy Gunn diet or whatever he's doing, but whatever it is, keep doing it, kid.
All right. So I have a tie.
Okay.
I have a tie. And my tie, there's several reasons why I have a tie. The tie is because I've seen the improvement and it's hard to take it away. And the other guy has continued to go through what he's gone through, which is good stuff, and has had adversity too, with a major screw up, according to the internet and things of that nature. So and I know it's horrible to give a tie, but my tie goes to Sean Bennett and Rod Zapata.
Oh, nice.
Rod I picked last year, but I think Rod keeps it constant. I do. And he went through a horrible thing in a referee's view as far as a bad finish, a kick out that should have been kicked out that didn't happen, and we should have counted three, or we think we should have counted three. Those are hard to overcome. He was able to put that in the back of his mind and continue to do the good things that he does. And Sean Bennett has just shown improvement. He knows he has weaknesses, or had them. They were told to him, apparently, and I just see improvement and growth. And so I just didn't want to take it from one or the other. That's why I made it a tie.
Right. Well, Sean's solid. We know Rod, what he can do, but Sean is very solid. And you know what? People don't notice him, which is the best thing.
And he's doing a good job at that. He's improved on his false finishes, his placement, his cues. I mean, how do you not reward someone who you see is working hard to improve the game and the skills they have? And Rod's working hard and staying consistent. And I like that. So I'm sorry to do a tie because that sucks and that's a bailout. But I just wanted to give both of them their flowers because I think they're both doing really, really well. And anyway, I'm done with that one. And RJ, you put yours in, and then we'll move on and bring in the man, Sarge, here in a few minutes.
So all very good options and choices, great referees. I'm going to bring out a person that is over on the SmackDown brand and somebody that had a lot of firsts this year. And this person was somebody that you see a lot in the main events. I'm going to go with Jessica Carr.
Good call. Good call.
Good call.
And she is, I don't know this for a fact, so don't quote me. Somebody that's always asking questions, somebody that seems like she's always asking questions, seems like she always wants to do what's next. What can I do to get better the next step? And she just seems very humbled. I believe she trained under Bubba and Devon, or at least Bubba, anyways.
Right.
And so she knows her stuff, and it's a test to where she is, where she's going to go. She has, I think, the sky's the limit with her. And she is entrusted with a lot of these women because she tends to do a lot of your Charlotte, your Becky's, your Biancas, your Jades, your Nyas, your Livs, whatever the case may be, the higher echelon of the women's division there in WWE. So absolutely phenomenal. I am definitely looking forward to what Jessica has coming up, not only in 2025, but going forward as well.
So before we bring in Sergeant Slaughter, I just want to say real quick, just think about this locker room if you could throw these all together. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Gunther for your men, for your women, Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, and Tony Storm. And then your referee crew, Sean Bennett, Rod Zapata, and Rudy, who would be Engler. That's a hell of a lineup, guys.
And Jessica.
Did I miss her? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jessica.
No,
That's because I had to throw in two. My bad.
Yeah, the first woman to officiate a world championship match.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good deal.
Well deserved.